tomorrow. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
Hey, Cleveland, this is Ed Doherty, voice of San Ignatius Wildcat football, and you're listening to the Sports Fix.
This is the Sports Fix. What is your name?
I'm the dude. So that's what you call me, you know? That or is dudeness or duder or, El Duderino if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
Dude, what do you want?
Well, it's this rug I have. It really tied the room together.
We are not a show to be swept under the rug. We are a show to be heard.
It's the Sports Fix.
Come on, Cavs. Gotta make it happen. Come on, Cavs. Gotta make it happen with your fast break action.
Welcome back to the Sports Fix live across the Sports Fix radio network. I don't know how fast the fast break is right now. Everybody's hopping and limping and banged up for the Cavaliers right now. Welcome back. J-Rock back with you. Final segment of the show. Phones are open, by the way. A couple of you tried to get in earlier while we had the phones occupied. 216-539-7535 is the number to call. 216-539-7535. As always, Facebook and Twitter open all the time. Facebook.com/thesportsfix. Tweet with us at the SportsFixCLE. Facebook.com/the SportsFix. Tweet with us at the SportsFixCLE. Let's talk a little Cavaliers hoops here as the Cavs in Philly looking to, I'll tell you, if there's a team you needed to play tonight and you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, it is the team on the other side of the schedule. The 76ers, 4-28. I mean, just on the verge of being one of the worst teams in history, intentionally that way, which don't even get me started on that's what's wrong with the NBA and sports in general. But 0-14 at home, still looking for their first victory of the season. That's what the Cavs need when you're not, no Anderson Varejao, no LeBron James, and now Kyrie Irving did not travel to Philadelphia. He came out of yesterday's game in the second half, was shut down for the final part of the game with back spasms and back tightness. He's going to be kept out here tonight. Kevin Love played yesterday and looked a bit more like, which with the opportunities open, you would expect. Everybody made a big deal about, Kevin Love looked like the old Kevin Love. Well, it's right back to the way he was, the number of touches and the way he was able to be used. I mean, obviously that's part of what Chris Bosh talked about, how Kevin Love would have the toughest adjustment of all as far as what he's used to getting, although playing some defense would help with that. Again, I'm going to say that every day. I'm going to say it. Maybe it's just us. Maybe we're just repeating it in this circle of the Sports Fix, but somebody needs to let the Cavs in on that secret about playing defense. But, Kevin Love, getting more touches and all of that I get, but he too touchy with the back right now. He knows that he needs to play if they can because they need to get as many bodies out there as you can. But, again, no Kyrie Irving tonight. Delly in the starting lineup. Most likely Dion Waiters will join him here. A homecoming, maybe you'll get a big night out of Dion. Dion's been, inconsistent is the best way I can put it this season. That's a nice way of putting it, really. And you guys know I'm a big Dion Waiters fan. I still think that Dion Waiters, man, can be a very successful NBA player. I don't know if it's going to end up being here. I don't know if it'll end up happening, period, but I know he can be. He would be the only reason that he wouldn't be. But, man, he seemed to be, maybe, for a few games anyway, getting a little better with his shot selection earlier in the season when he first started coming back off the bench there and once he got used to the switching. But, man, some bad. What about the one that went off the top of the backboard the other day, man? He's been airballing and just badly missing some wide open shots. He's also been taking a lot of shots as well, As we know, Dion always been a volume guy, He definitely has no problem jacking the shots up, and when they're not going in, that leads to a problem. But plus, he's been jump shooting too much here and not driving to the hoop. Dion's a different cat when he's driving to the basket, when he's getting some foul shots. He's able to get himself to the line, add some points there, get in the paint. Again, being aggressive, playing that game. But the other day, as I talked about, how many times he was pulling up for jumpers? He was only 8 of 21 the other day. And Friday night in that victory against Charlotte, again, much needed when you're banged up like this to get Charlotte and Philadelphia on your schedule, because they're the only ways you're going to win some games right now, the way you've been playing and being shorthanded. So it's very fortunate for the Cavs on the schedule that they ended up with Charlotte Friday night, and they've got Philly here tonight. But yeah, against Charlotte, Dion is shooting jumpers, man. 3 of 11 outside the paint, 5 of 10 when he's driving or taking shots in the paint. Huge difference. To me, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that. And I know that the Cavs have to point these statistics out to him every day. He's just got to stop. The best term you could use is just reverting back to the past, going into, and that's where LeBron is, right? When you use a term like getting into the bad habits, that's just going back into that run and gun. But I mean, if running and gunning can be effective with Dion when he's coming off the bench, if he's driving, and that's what I mean. At least then he's constantly putting pressure on the defense, drawing fouls, getting the other team in foul trouble, getting himself to the line. Running, pulling up, jump shots, missing them, not even giving your guys time to get down and rebound before you take the shot. Those things, you're just eating yourself up. And then we're not playing defense on top of it. I'm sorry, but to me, the Cavs didn't have a chance in the world of beating Dallas. Dallas' offense is too good, too efficient, and the Cavaliers hung tight, but there was no way. They didn't have enough firepower, and the team is just not cohesive enough to be at that level there, right there. But again, it does not help when Dion Waiters is putting up shots the way he is, and I know he feels that that's what he needs to do, but again, it's where you're doing it, not what you're doing. I mean, think of it. He is 2 of his last 18 from 3-point. And here's the best part, is that we've talked about this statistic before. Dion Waiters catch and shoot, totally different than Dion Waiters dribble and shoot or make a move and shoot. Dion Waiters, his shooting percentage is 30% higher, 30 points higher on his shooting percentage when he catches and shoots instead of more than one dribble. So why he doesn't, again, I don't know. But, Dion Waiters, within 5 feet from the hoop, he's 56%. So clearly he can be effective when he's driving, when he's getting a foul shot. I mean, you look at his, matter of fact, here's the breakdown right here. The Plain Dealer did a breakdown of Dion Waiters' shots here. When he's within 5 to 10 feet of the hoop, he's at 35%. When he's at 10 to 14, he's at 50%. It just continues to drop from there. 19 feet out, he drops down to 39%. 20 to 24, he's down under 34%. From 25 feet and beyond, he is 5 of 38 for 13%. Here's the scary thing, is that 25 to 29 feet, that is where Dion Waiters has shot his 3rd highest percentage of shots from 25 to 29 feet out. So his 3rd highest, his 3rd most favorite place that he's been shooting from on the court, he's hitting only 13% of his shots. I mean, that is what's killing him right there. You look against Dallas, as we said, boom, come in, miss. All the 3-pointers, and you put your team in bad positions. They don't just gun, but they gun and don't give the team time to set up for boards. That's going to hurt you as well there. But again, Dion is successful when he's driving to the rim and attacking. And, maybe he'll have that aggressiveness in him tonight. He's going to get the start at home. But the Cavaliers, again, problems are more than just that. And speaking of that, David Griffin had to come out yesterday, and I will give him credit. He was very, very specific and concise with the statement that he made. The fact that he made a statement, to me, still scary. I know that David Griffin said that he was only making this statement because he thought the story was so ridiculous. But as I said before the break, the dreaded vote of confidence is what I fear, because whenever a coach is on his way to the hot seat, in the hot seat, or out the door, usually you get, a month, 2, 3 months before, you get what we had here. You get what we had here, which is a vote of confidence. So hopefully it's exactly what I'll read it to you. What David Griffin said. He said, this narrative on our coaching situation is truly ridiculous. It's a non-story, a non-narrative. Coach Blatt is our coach. He's going to remain our coach. Now, I got to tell you, I always say read between the lines. If you read between the lines of what he said, you would think he's talking to perhaps specific individuals, as he says, David Blatt is our coach. He's going to remain our coach. Do not call that a vote of confidence. He never needed one. It was never a question, so do not write it that way. He said no change is being made or considered, period. He said it's so ridiculous that talking about it gives it life, and I didn't want to do that. But at the same time, I just want everybody to get on with it, galvanize ourselves, and move in a positive direction and a fresh environment. So he clearly felt it, clearly felt a need to say something. If you didn't need to say anything, you don't say it. Exactly. Vashon in the chat room basically just said exactly what I'm saying. If it was so far stretched, if there was no seeds of reality to it, you don't even acknowledge it. You absolutely don't even acknowledge it. But the fact that he did scares the hell out of me, because he was talking to somebody. I don't know who. I don't know who he was trying to sell. The fans, perhaps. The team, perhaps. The media, the ownership himself, LeBron, his people. I don't know. But that statement was made for somebody. And as I said, man, I don't think in history you'll find too many coaching changes that didn't come with a vote of confidence speech literally a month or two before, where the team completely gave its backing to the guy. That's why it's called the dreaded vote of confidence. And when I saw that statement, I read it and I was proud of the words that were said. And then the minute that I was done reading it, I said, David Blatt is a dead man walking. And you would think that it's the opposite. The fact that he made the statement is what scares the hell out of me, because David Griffin's a pretty confident guy. And I could see him just looking at the media and going, that is so stupid that I'm not even going to acknowledge that with an answer. That would have been, to me, perhaps the answer to go with, and just, you don't even go into this given. But, he felt the need to. Did he do it for David Blatt? Maybe. Maybe David Blatt needed to hear that. Listen, you can be as confident as you want. This is still his first time in the NBA, and he may not know how his players feel about him. He may wonder if guys are shanking him behind the back. He doesn't know. So maybe that was said for him. I don't know. I think it was said more for others. But regardless, boy, do I hope that David Griffin is a man of his word. And I hope that behind the scenes, that same conversation is repeated to every player. Hey, David Blatt is going nowhere. This team is going to play with David Blatt as your head coach. We talked about it the other day. Vashon and I had that conversation here on the air, that this is exactly the button pushing and the testing that was done in Miami with Spo. And Pat Riley said, hey, this is my guy. We're going to dig in the trenches. We're going to get dirty. And then we're going to be able to build off of this. We're going to do it. And he had the chance to make the change and put himself there, which is what everybody expected them to do. This is the Cavs moment right here. I don't care what they tell you, what they tell the media, what they tell me, what they tell us, what they tell any of us. Behind the scenes, that has to be what David Griffin has made clear to every player, every wannabe general manager, every wannabe coach on our bench, everybody who is playing more than one role on this team. Leader, coach, player, whatever you want to call yourself. Just make it clear that that's the guy. If that really happens behind the scenes, then they'll understand. Even LeBron will realize that. If the Cavaliers are serious and they dig in their trenches, then this doesn't go any further. Because he will understand that there's limited things you can do at this point about it. Now, once the season does or doesn't work out, then you can be passive-aggressive in the media, and you and LeBron or anybody could go do what players do when they're not happy with the coach. But that will buckle it down. I hope truly in my heart of hearts that that's what David Griffin did the other day. But the just less optimistic and more pessimistic side of me says that was the dreaded vote of confidence. And the fact that he even had to say that in his speech means that he thought about it. What we're saying right now, David Griffin said, man, that is the vote of confidence. So I have to make sure that I say it's not the vote of confidence. You know what I mean? That means he thought about it. So wouldn't he have just said, you know what, maybe I don't need to say this at all. Our players know. And that's what I mean. Like in my own household, if there were people